The late show from Chelsea, a brace from Conor Gallagher, and this victory sealed by Enzo Fernandez. The stereotypical, almost the ironic game of two halves. It's a cliche, but cliches are often cliches because they are real. Chelsea stunk the house out. They absolutely stunk the house out in the first half. A poor showing from them, slow, lethargic, zero penetration. A goal from Jefferson Lerma gave Crystal Palace some hope, and it looked as though it was going to be another horrendous day at the office for Chelsea, barely registering a shot, loads of possession, all the gear, but no idea, all fur coat and no knickers. And in the second half, the intensity came, fast passing, great movement. The ball played out to Gusto on the right-hand side, a fantastic cross and a wonderful volley from one of the players of the season at Chelsea in Conor Gallagher. He gets the equaliser. And then, look, Palace come back into the game and make it hard for Chelsea, who up until tonight have not been winning away from home in the Premier League. They found it very, very difficult indeed. But they persevered, they pressed, they moved forward. And then in the dying moments of the game, up steps Conor Gallagher again. By the way, no goals from him all season. And then in the 91st minute, a very good pass from Palmer, bang, buried into the bottom corner. And that was all she wrote. And then to put that cherry on top of the icing, on top of the cake, Enzo Fernandez, another Cole Palmer assist, to steal the deal and took any kind of nervousness away and anxiety away that Palace could themselves grab a late equaliser. And there's lots to unpack with this game. Tonight was almost the epitome of Chelsea this season. You saw the good, the bad, and the ugly from them. They have to move the ball quickly. What they were praised so much for 5 days ago when they played Aston Villa was the speed of which they moved the ball, the closeness and compactness of their team, but the speed of which they moved the ball. And in that first 45 minutes, it was as dull as dishwater. It was so slow and it lacked energy. And they made it easy for Crystal Palace to sit there in a low block and counter-attack against them. Now, whatever said at half-time, you know, the manager probably sent a rocket up their backsides. They came out with the bit between their teeth. They came out with some aggression. They came out with some real fight, which they needed, because that first half was an absolutely horrendous showing. Chelsea fans online calling for Maurizio Pochettino to be fired. Even if he was to win the Carabao Cup, they're saying he's got to go. But the second half demonstrated, in my opinion, more what Chelsea are about, a lot more of what Chelsea are about. Now, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't a dominant display like they would want, but it's one that they can build confidence from. This team, as we know, we're not going to keep beating that same drum. It needs investment in experienced players. There's no doubt about it. As David said earlier on the Top 6 show, young players are inconsistent by default. It's what they are. They're young. They're learning their game. They're learning their trade. But the one thing I would say about this Chelsea team, they are playing for this manager. They are playing for him. You can tell that by the way they reacted at halftime. You can tell that by the celebrations, that they are giving it all they can. I just didn't understand the instructions from the manager to the players to play so slowly in the first half. And I get at halftime, he probably blew a rocket up their backside and told them to speed it up. Couldn't he have done that at some point in the first half? You can communicate, talk to your captain, get him to speak to the team. That bit was frustrating. In terms of individuals, look, Conor Gallagher, what a performance from him. And I know a lot of Chelsea fans won't like me saying this, some will, but he has been Chelsea, probably, barring Cole Palmer, he's probably been Chelsea's most consistent player this year. And that's not, I know they're sitting 10th in the league, but he as an individual has been pretty good. And he deserved these goals tonight. He was excellent. I also thought Palmer, again, I thought had another excellent game. Excellent game for him. Output as well at the end, which is very important for an attacking player. But the player that I really want to shout out tonight is Gusto at right back. I'm not too sure if he came off injured or not. That'll be a bit of a concern and worry. Now, we all know how good Reece James is. We know what a football player he can be. But his body's made of biscuits. And availability, not everybody thinks it's the best ability, but it's certainly a very, very, very important one. And Gusto, ironically, might have an injury now, but he's available and he's playing so well. He's playing so well. He really is. Chelsea haven't had a lot of their signings that everybody looks at in unison and says that was a good bit of business. But Gusto's that guy. Gusto and Cole Palmer, them two have been absolutely phenomenal signings for Chelsea. They now just need to add that experience to this team, and they'll improve massively once they do that. They really, really will. But an important win. I think their first win in their first win in 5 away from home in the Premier League. We know the home form has started to pick up as of late, up until the Wolves game. We know the cup form has been pretty good. And I suppose it's little by little. But still, as I can see in our live comment section now, a lot of Chelsea fans still want Poch to go. Let me know why. Let me know why you still think that, why you still feel that in the comments section below. And we've got Don. I think we've got Matty. I think we have Winter Surfer coming on the show a little bit later, so we'll bring them out once they arrive. Some super chats here. Moose Wizards says, watching this team makes me sick to my stomach. I would certainly be sick with that first half performance. It was nothing short of a shocker. Nothing short of a shocker of a first half. Caicedo, Hall of Shame performance, crap player. Look, I'm going to say, I've said this a few times about Caicedo this year. He hasn't been very good. And there'll be moments in the game where there's really good passes. There'll be moments in the game we go, oh, that was a nice touch. But the amount of times he gives possession away, the amount of times he's caught unawares of who's around him and his surroundings, the amount of time he gives the ball away in dangerous areas, I would be worried. I would be hugely worried as a Chelsea fan about that. It's too regular. It's been too regular over the course of this season. For all the Conor haters out there, hold that is what Andrew's got to say. City will hit 5, then show mercy on us as per usual. Look, if Chelsea play against City how they did in the first half, they're in big trouble against Manchester City. But I think you'll be up for that game. I just don't see that one going the same way. A Ten Hag-esque win, sack this manager. He is poor, is what God's will has got to say here. Gav says made hard work of it, worried about injuries. Gusto, Silva, and maybe Colwell limping at the end with Badiashile out. Yeah, listen, if you guys do have, if Gusto's out, if Silva's out, if Colwell's out, you're in trouble against Man City, because actually those three typically do a decent job for you. Yeah, I'd be worried. And the Gusto thing, we'll wait for that. Maybe that was just resting him. Well, you weren't even winning him when he came off. There was no need to bring him off. I swear you brought him off before the goals. Yeah, it was. So yeah, maybe it is a knock for him, which will not be good for Chelsea. Viewers, if you haven't done so yet, please make sure you're hitting the like button, even if you're not happy with your team's result or performance tonight. Please do that to support us. My old mate Ray here says Caicedo ghosting. I don't know if it's ghosting. I just don't think he's handling. Look, he was very good against Aston Villa, there's no doubt, but I just don't think he's handling the pressure that comes with playing for a big club. Genuinely, it's a different level. It's a different experience, and I mean that with respect to Brighton. It's a different kettle of fish. Terry always gasses himself with smirks pre-City games, psychs himself up every Friday, then cries. That's really weird. Very weird, my friend. Very weird comment. These players might grow to be good enough to play for Brighton one day. Bit harsh. Yeah, today I agree, but most of the time Caicedo is isolated. I understand being isolated. That stops you progressing the ball. But there are times where he's caught in possession, and I don't think it's about isolation. It's about concentration. I don't want to use the word. I know it triggers people in the modern day game, but it's I would say his vision. I would say a lack of awareness, a lack of vision. Some would call it he's got a bad scan rate. That's the new way of talking about it. But he isn't aware of what's going on. And obviously, when you play Sunday League, play at school level, somebody's coming up from the side or from a blind spot, you'll get shout, man on. Somebody's coming. Professional football with the noise of the stadium, it's hard to hear that sometimes. He's just caught being a little bit lackadaisical, and he sometimes has been a little bit weak on the ball. So we get challenged as per normal, but he hasn't been able to show the strength or perseverance to get through those moments. So I get some of it's isolation, but I really do think some of it is just a lack of concentration. Caicedo was huge for the winner. Look, and I'm not saying he doesn't have good moments, but when it comes to playing in a deep midfield role, giving the ball away in your own half with the regularity that I see him do it is a problem that your club needs to address, irrespective of how good he is at moving the ball forward. Both can be right at the same time, but one is going to cost you goals. If you concede goals, it's very hard to win football matches. Ciaran here says, up the Chelsea. Hope you're well, bro. Be good to hear from you if you're about, actually. Be good to hear from you if you are about, my friend. I'll ping you. I'll ping you a link. I'll ping you a link, bruv. That's what I will do right now. Don's joining me now. The others will be here soon, I assume. Don, important win. It's such a hard game to judge. Terrible first half. Yep. Came back in the second, but some really good goals scored as well. What did you make of it tonight, brother?
Bro, it was literally a game of two halves, Terry. Literally a game of two halves. Like, when I saw that lineup, I said before the game, I said, listen, this should be enough to win the game. But I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't happy with Gallagher being in that hole, because I just thought Crystal Palace are gonna play a low block. We've got better players on the ball to him, like Nkunku, you can play there, Palmer, you can play there, Kante, that you can play there. And in the first half, if you saw our stats when it comes to creating, they were shocking, bro. They were shocking. We didn't create nothing. There was no shots on target. Even the wingers, Madueke, he was bad. That's probably his worst performance I've seen in a Chelsea top. The other side, the left-hand side, was isolated, weren't doing anything on that side. And Palmer as a 9, it just doesn't work. It wasn't effective. Gallagher in those pockets wasn't doing much. Caicedo on the ball was sloppy. Enzo was trying to make things happen, but it just wasn't good in that first half. The whole shape, the whole structure was all over the place. But in the second half, when he made that change and put Palmer on the right, putting Jackson up top and Nkunku on the left, you saw straight away that as soon as Palmer started to get on the ball a little bit more, we started to create a little bit more. And that right-hand side between him and Gusto, it looked a lot better than the first half. Do you know what I'm saying? Again, Gallagher wasn't really creating much, but what he did do was crash into that box. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that he was doing at Palace. And if you remember on the last stream, I said, bro, if this guy scores more goals from midfield, less and less people will be on his back, because at least he's being effective and he's putting up numbers. If you can't create much, at least supplement that by scoring goals. And that's what he did today. Do you know what I mean? So I can't fault him, because in the first half, he wasn't good, but he wasn't the only one that wasn't good. So I'm not going to blame him. Do you know what I mean? But in that second half, bro, he was good, man. Like I said, finishing the chances the way he did. Palmer getting another 2 assists. Enzo, again, getting another goal. He didn't have the greatest game, but he got another goal for that composure there. So we moved, man. We moved. It was a game of two halves. And in that second half, I think Poch got his spot on with some of the changes that he made. I can't lie.
Listen, much better second half. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you kept the team the same, barring the injury to Badiashile, which is what Chelsea fans have been asking for. So is this about, the manager kind of did what Chelsea fans have been demanding, play the same players, but obviously it wasn't as effective. Was it frustrating that the changes weren't made a little bit sooner? Because you could see after 15, 20 minutes that it just wasn't quite working. Could he have not moved, could he have not moved Jackson into the middle to give some more natural balance?
Yeah, exactly. This is the thing. He could have done that a little bit sooner. I think with Poch, what I've noticed is that he's not that brave to change things in the first half. Like when something's happening, he waits for half time at least to make that change. So I expected him to make that change at half time. Like I said, bringing in Nkunku on and playing Jackson up top. And yeah, man, Silva at the back, you can see why a lot of fans are saying this guy shouldn't be starting for us week in, week out. Legend in the game, all-timer in my opinion. And a bit of a cult hero at Chelsea as well. You know, the way he's come in with the only team to win him a Champions League after, you know, his 20-year career and whatnot. But he just builds up too slow from the back, Terry. Everything's too, you know, he doesn't play what's in front of him. He will see the pass and then he'll just do that with his hands. Start doing that, telling people where to go. And I'm like, bro, just play the pass, man. Worry about that after. Do you know what I'm saying? But like I said, it was a game of two halves, man. And in the second half, Poch's performance was a lot better. And the players, they looked a lot more comfortable with the positions that they were taking up.
Yeah, they certainly did. Winter Surfer, give me your breakdown of today's game.
First half, yeah, he played the same players, but I don't know why. Caicedo was basically a third centre-back in that first half. That first half was just terrible. Second half, he made the changes and we scored right away, but we didn't really pepper the Crystal Palace goal or create enough clear-cut chances. And then, yeah, it's just moments today. That's all it was. It was just moments. We took them, essentially. First of all, I'll always take the win, no matter what. So thank God we got the win. But, yeah, there's still glaring issues, even with the changes that Poch made at half-time. But we said it to you Wednesday. It was like, just stick to the same game plan. And let's see what happens. And he didn't in the first half. He didn't stick to the same game plan. Enzo and Caicedo were like islands apart in that first half. But listen, we got it. We got the win. We'll take it. We move. We had to get this win because I don't see us getting anything at the weekend at City. So we move on. But listen, Gallagher got his 2 goals, which was really good. He played good today. But yeah, just moments again today. They didn't see, even after we scored that equaliser, I didn't see what we were doing because we didn't pepper the goal whatsoever. And
do you know what this was similar to, bro? If you remember that game that we won at the Bridge against Luton, remember I said to you the performance weren't all that, but we were very clinical in front of goal, right? Similar sort of thing in terms of the chances that we created, and our finishing today was good. Well, Gallagher's finishing today was good. Do you know what I'm saying? It wasn't the best performance, but in that second half, bro, we managed to break down that low block, man. We managed to break it down.
What didn't help was we were so slow in that first half against the part of the bus team. That's what the part of the bus team wants. It wants the opposition to be slow in their passing. Whether that's Thiago Silva's thing there or just the initial game plan, I had no idea what we were trying to do in the first half. We were side to side. We had like 90% chances, but they had all the shots in the first half. I mean, what's the point in having all that possession if you're not going to do something with it? And I never understood the game plan. He changed it at halftime. Good on him, and we got the response right away. I agree with you, Terry. I just hope Gusto's not injured because he was very good today, especially in that second half. But yeah, we got away with this. I got to say, we got away with a win today. We'll take it, no problem.
We got away with a win.
Yes.
No, I wouldn't say we got away with a win. Palace didn't.
Don, name
we didn't get away with a win.
Now, after we equalised and before we scored that Gallagher's last-minute goal, name me the clear-cut chances and name me the saves that Crystal Palace keeper had to make today.
Bro, my definition of getting away with a win is if Palace were literally peppering us. I'm coming from the point of we needed to get that win. We got away with it by getting a win. Not that they were battering us. I'm talking about we didn't do enough until the Gallagher scored to get a win, in my opinion. We didn't pepper the goal. We didn't make clear. We didn't hit the post or the bar or anything like that. But can you acknowledge that the changes that Poch made in that second half made us play better?
The changes helped, but we still didn't cut them open. Do you know what I mean? We still weren't peppering the goal. I'm not coming out going, oh my God, that Palace goalkeeper, my God, what a man of match display he had. We still didn't do that. And we had, that's what I mean. Individual brilliance again. Individual brilliance again. We relied on. And we got away with it.
I get what you're saying, but I wouldn't say that this is a game where we got away with it, in all honesty, because again, like I said, we played better in the second half and we created good chances. And again, Gallagher was clinical, bro. I don't think we got away with it today. I can't lie.
Listen, apart from that, between the 2 goals, for me, there's nothing that I can take from a highlight reel that I go, so close. I wasn't going, oh my God, just that little bit. There was nothing. We approached it. We did what we always do. We get up to the last third of the pitch, the penalty area, and we scuff shots or hit them too slow or they're blocked or something like that. And we get miss-hit passes here and there.
When you break down the stats from today, just looking at this, so you had 77% of the ball throughout the whole game, but it was 13 shots to Palace, 14 shots to Chelsea. They had 4 on target. Chelsea had 5 on target. It was the inability to create those chances today, which was crazy. And so much of that was, again, I think Winter Surfer's right. And you said the same thing, Don. it was the lack of intensity, not moving the ball quick enough in such large chunks of the game. When you consider I know that Villa don't play with a low block, but the speed of play in that game was brilliant to watch. And then to fast forward 5 days, honestly, it was like watching two different teams. It really was.
That's what I'm saying. I want to know who actually set us up against Villa, because I don't think it was Poch.
He let someone else do it. Matty, mate, what did you make of tonight, bro?
Do you know what? I mean,
let me just say, by the way, that is one serious quiff. Bro.
That is amazing quiff.
That is a serious quiff.
That is sensational.
Oh, mate.
That quiff is sensational.
I've taken ages to grow it. You know, I've grown it myself. Just thought I'd let you know. What can I say? I think we just about managed to get away with that today. I felt as though that I was shouting really about Poch, really, because there was no energy from him. I felt like he was just like waiting for a bus half the time. And it was just like, shout at your players, bark at your players, do something. And the first half, it was just, there was no passion in the game, honestly. And when you start Thiago Silva, I want to make this clear. If you're going to start Thiago Silva, no disrespect to Thiago Silva, he's 39 years of age, he's a veteran. Put him with two extra centre backs, because then that way he can do his own thing. Instead, all he's done is he's partnered it up with a younger guy. Admittedly, without Thiago Silva, they probably would have had a second goal, Crystal Palace. But I just think that, like Winter Surfer said, he kind of really took what I said. Really, there was no real clear, concise chances from today, and I still think that. I'm not a Poch-in guy still, but I think he's just working with the tools he's been given, really. But I would expect a bit more. But I know we're not going to get a result against City. That's all I'm going to say. So it's very disappointing.
Ciaran, how about yourself, mate? What did you make? Did you feel like you got away with it tonight, or is that second half performance something you can build from?
Oh, man, Chelsea stressed me out so much. It's untrue. Honest to God. Can you hear me?
It's a little bit muffled. It's a little muffled.
Oh, he's got the earpods in.
Yeah. Don't do a Matty. Don't do a Matty. Can't hear you, bro. Andrew. Just think whilst he fixes that, are you saying that we got away with it because of how late we scored?
Yeah, I mean, when I say get away with it, I didn't think we were going to lose. What I'm saying is that we stole a victory from the jaws of a draw. Do you know what I mean? It was like that. I thought it was good. We were going to run out because, like I said, we created minimal half chances. The goal, like I say, we didn't hit the woodwork or anything like that. The goalkeeper wasn't making last-minute saves or anything like that. I think the clearest chance was probably Disasi's header from a Sterling cross. That for me, that was the clearest chance, and it wasn't even a powerful header. That's what I'm talking about. We didn't listen. I'll take those, no problem. But what I'm saying is, overall, the scoreline will cover the performance, no problem. It will say we scored 3 goals and great. But
do you know what it is for me, Andrew? Yes, because I saw us attacking with a lot more intent in the second half. And if you remember, like even Sterling, he had a chance at one point where Palmer played it to him. All he had to do was just bang it one time, right? And he dilly-dallied on it, and then we lost the ball, right? In that second half, I was seeing us attacking a lot more. It felt like we were going to score in certain parts of the game.
I don't know. I felt like
we were going to score, bro. It's just that final end product from Palmer. Like I said, certain parts not passing it to Nkuku, from Sterling, like I said, not finishing it first time. Yeah. It was poor. The final product was poor, but I looked at that game and thought we're going to score here. We're going to score how we play.
Andrew.
Hang on. Let me just
go on.
Palmer got 2 assists, but he was just aimlessly passing the ball into the box. There was no direction.
Yeah, I was going to talk on that.
That's what I'm saying. His end product was poor.
What I'm saying is there was no like he was just sometimes he was just aimlessly putting the ball into the box.
No. I can't lie.
Sorry.
I hear what you're saying in terms of like we scummy the win, because in the end we scored 2 last-minute goals and we won the game. But what I would say is that what I'm saying is that there was opportunities where if there's a better quality pass from the ball, Caicedo not losing the ball in dumb areas, Palmer making better decisions, it was opportunities for us to break them down earlier than we did. There's a few opportunities where I saw Palmer get on the ball, and he wasn't great today. He got 2 assists, but he weren't great. And he just needs to put more power on his through ball and get a shot. or Sterling needs to take a shot first time, he probably gets a shot on target. And then you've got Gusto on the. He had a good game, but it was a few times he got in the box and instead of taking on Mitchell, he's going for a cross. So there's opportunities there where those half chances you're talking about turn to opportunities on goal. And then we're sitting here saying, 20 shots on target or 20 shots, 10 on target. It's like 13 and 5. So
yeah, but that's the what about is an if. That's
no,
like
but
if.
it's not about
if, bro. The end product was poor, bro. It's not about
No,
if.
it wasn't.
It was
It
was
It
poor.
wasn't end. No, it wasn't end product.
No, it was end product.
It was end product. Hang on, it was getting into a position to be end product that I had an issue with. We were getting in those positions. It was just aimless. Sometimes it was aimless passing.
No, you can't say that. You can't.
I've got disagreement.
Andrew, that's the case, yeah. Don, if that's the case, what Andrew's saying, how did we get those chances at the end then? Was that by accident? So what you're telling me is Palace went, it's 90th minute, let's open up now and concede 2 goals. No. What happened was
the Palace. Listen,
we kept attacking them. We kept attacking them.
Let me have a point.
The third goal, their heads had got. The third goal. Let's be honest.
No. I'm not talking
they
about
worked
the
that hard. That point. The third goal, their heads were gone. Their heads were down. Right.
Okay. I think what I'm trying to say is, and you're missing my point because I think I agree with Don here. We're not disagreeing with you. We didn't deserve it overall. Balance of play. We got the win. I'm happy with the win. Cool. But we're not going to sit here and say we did nothing in the second half. These men just gave up. We were actually creating opportunities. And in my opinion, it was more the lack of quality up front, which is why we didn't create more chances, i.e. score more goals, i.e. more shots on target. And then lucky for us, I agree with you, we were clinical at the end. We got the win. Or another day we might not have scored. We get a draw and we're pissed. So what I'm trying to tell you is, I'm not going to sit here and say Palmer had a great game because opportunities that Don's saying where if there's a better through ball, better touch, we're in on goal. That wasn't the first time when Enzo scored that we could have got a through ball and scored a goal. That wasn't the first time. These men just weren't clinical up front today. And then Kuka, for example, he wasn't that great today. He had a few touches here and there. He couldn't get involved because of the poor link-up play.
See, when you say clinical up front, that if someone hears that, they would think we would have chances and we just didn't take them. I'm talking about before that. We didn't do enough to get in a chance to get a chance. What I'm talking about
is didn't have bare space on the right hand side. Then, is that what you're telling me?
And what did we do with it?
That's my point. That's not Poch's fault.
He was whipping it in. He was whipping it in. He was Andrew. We barely score any headers. We barely got anyone that's good with their head on in the box. We were getting in positions. To create chances, but our end product was poor.
Terry read out the stats. Yeah. We had one more shot on target than they did in the entire game. Okay?
Did you see
we've literally just told you why that was. Our end product wasn't great, bro. Those opportunities for Palmer to slip it in, or like Sterling, like I said, to finish, and it wasn't there, bro.
Coming across is that the way it's coming across to me is that we did so well, and it was just that little bit extra touch.
Nah. That's why you're not.
That's
why you're not comprehending what you're saying. That's where you're not comprehending what we're saying. I can acknowledge. Okay, let me clarify then. Let me clarify then. In the second half, we were better and we looked better when we was attacking. But the end product was not great, right? Until the end. Until Gallagher finished those chances, the end product was not good. That's the best way I can put it. I don't think we got away with it. I can't lie, because we should have taken some of the chances that we got earlier. We got ourselves in positions, right? And the quality was not good when it comes to the final pass, getting a shot on goal. It wasn't good enough, but we're getting ourselves in good.
But what am I saying that's wrong?
Hold on, Andrew. No, but what you're saying is we got away with it as if we were poor the whole game. We weren't poor the whole game. We weren't poor the whole game.
Guys, I want to go back to Ciaran now. See if his mic's working now.
You can hear me now.
Perfect.
Beautiful. Yeah.
The first time I get headphones and they don't work, just typical. Yeah, headphones.
Do you know what it is, mate? They probably do work. Anything that's Bluetooth based and StreamYard is atrocious. So yeah,
atrocious. I know.
The boys are talking here about Chelsea maybe not deserving it, getting a bit lucky, sort of stealing it at the end. Do you see it from that point of view, or do you believe you have value for your win tonight?
50-50. Really, Chelsea stressed me out so much. It's untrue. It's honest to God, it's so stressful to watch. The first half was pathetic. It was the amount of players Crystal Palace are missing, and to not even get a shot on target, really. Like Gallagher missed one chance in the first half. The only really shot where we really had, but it was so bad in the first half. It was just passing the side to side. But I go back to it again. I keep saying it, and the 90,000 million time. Caicedo was like a third centre back. Enzo was playing nearly up as a striker. They're so far away from each other. And what happened in the second half? Two of them were closer together. Kind of brought on Kunku and Jackson together as well, which kind of made a difference. We had two like number 10s. We had more width with Gusto. He was banging in the crosses constantly in the second half. Until I just think Gusto's an absolutely amazing signing since he's came. He's done a great job filling in for Reece James. But I'll go back to it again. I actually do give Poch a small bit of credit for changing it in the second half, but it couldn't have been any worse. So, Johnny Winey could not have been any worse in the first half. As I said, Thiago Silva, I love him. The absolute bits. He's brilliant. He's 39. He's doing an amazing job, but he's just too slow. Just way too slow for me. He gets the ball, he points left, right. No one's moving for him. You've seen it in the Aston Villa game when Paddy Shield, there was balls zipped into the midfield. They were turning, they were switching. There was basically none of that tonight, apart from the second half. And when he came off, I was actually kind of delighted because I thought Levi Cole would speed up the game a small bit. But I do feel sorry for him, sorry for Thiago Silva, because he gets a lot of unnecessary criticism. Maybe he is 39 at the end of the day, but he just slows the game down way too much. But Enzo and Caicedo, for the 1,000 million time, they need to play beside each other. There's too much of a gap. Way too much of a gap. And I'm as I said, I'm happy with the win, but we get 3 points. But if we play like that in the first half, City will be up 4 or 5 easily.
Well, on the Caicedo point, I was saying in sort of my opening piece that it was another one of those games where he had some good moments and touches on the ball, but the way he gets caught in possession. Do you think that it's so dangerous? You do that if he gets caught like that 2 or 3 times in his own half against City, it's going to be good night, Vienna. Do you think that's to do with him being too isolated? Is that where you think that stems from?
Yeah, well, when he gets the ball, he looks left, he looks right. There's no one beside him. There's no one beside him whatsoever. He can't do anything bar go back to Thiago Silva, Levi Cole, whoever in the centre half is. All he can get the ball is he just gets in the middle of the park. He plays it left, he plays it right, he plays it backwards. He never really plays it forward because there's no one beside him. But in the second half, he got the ball. He played it to Enzo, and Enzo takes over there from there on. That's all he needs to do. Just take the ball and just give it to the better players. Move forward. Stop moving backwards with it all the time. But I don't blame him because he has no choice. They're just way too far away from each other.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, second half was positive.
Bro. You actually know ball. I'm Terry, so happy. The one thing I have to say this, because this is done, yeah. Terry, you got to drop this now, yeah. I can't put my face on the camera, but I'll be on to you. Caicedo is being not misprofiled, but misusing.
He's been misprofiled.
What his name? Yeah, the guy who just spoke. Spot on.
Ciaran.
When he's playing next to someone who can make those progressive passes that Enzo did, that's where you get the better Caicedo. In the second half, yes, 100%. It was a bit physical at times, but he didn't lose the ball as much. He done his job. He literally made.
Okay, but when he lost the ball for the first goal, when he lost the ball for the first goal, that had nothing to do with Enzo not being near him.
No. My point is,
Madueke lost the ball.
No, Caicedo had the ball and he got tackled as well.
He just wasn't strong enough.
Listen, Caicedo lost the ball 100%, but the main culprit in that situation was Madueke. He lost the ball first. He had plenty of time to play the ball anywhere he wanted. Like Madueke had plenty of time to take a touch and do whatever he wanted with it, and he lost the ball first. He was to blame for that first goal.
Also, bro, did we not concede, Terry, the same goal against Wolves? Yes or no?
You did.
Did we not concede the same goal against Nottingham Forest? Yes or no?
You did. And
my
I
point is this.
Can
I make a point? Can I make a point?
Yeah, go on.
My point is that, like, if the same thing is happening repeatedly, what you could say is the player's poor quality. Why is he losing the ball in these areas? But then you could look at the other side and go, why is he exposed on an island where he turns his body to left and right and no one's really around him? Hence why he keeps losing the ball in these positions. So it's the way you want it.
Yeah. So I understand that. And there are different ways of looking at it. And I do believe some of the issues of the isolation. I will agree with that. However, you're still in possession of the ball. If you're isolated, if he has seen the players closing him down, you get rid of the ball. That's a basic thing you're taught in football from a young age. Him holding on to it and being caught in possession consistently is more damaging to your team. He'd be better off booting it out for just booting it towards a corner flag. So he still has options in that situation, and he's dilly-dallying. And I think some of that, by the way, I actually think comes from your tactics, because Man United did this yesterday, and it was making me annoyed. Where we're playing out from the back into the centre backs into the holding midfielder, and it's so slow. I don't. It's almost like we're waiting for like 5 or 6 of the opponents to rush in so you can knock it long over them, and no one's going to do it. So move the ball quicker, get people closer to him. But go back and watch some of the times he's lost possession. It can't all just be because Enzo's not completely next to him. But
you can't. That's what I'm saying, Terry. That's spot on what you've said there. You can't blame it all on Poch because yes, in possession, Caicedo should be better, but at the same time, tactically, he should have players closer next to him. So both of what you're saying, I agree with, right? But for me, like I said, look, this is why it's annoying that Lavia is injured because Lavia, if he was here, he will be the one that will be picking up the ball the deepest, right? Because he's in our team, he's probably the most press-resistant player in our team. He's alone. He can play as a lone 6, and if you watched him at Southampton last season, you would know that he can handle that role. When he gets on the ball, very hard to get off of him. Caicedo is not as press-resistant as him. As much as I think he's good on the ball, he's not that guy to be playing there by himself. Do you know what I mean? That's why at Brighton he had someone next to him. So we just have to hope Poch fixes up, man, and has some help next to him because this is going to keep happening otherwise.
Well, it's going to be a potential problem, isn't it? Because every time you'll see different teams come up against, they'll say, well, Caicedo can be dispossessed quite easily, so we'll attack Caicedo, and it'll be a lot easier for people for our players to attack. You will only see City with Haaland and different other people, and they will attack that weak link. So there's, he needs to either kind of grow up a little bit quicker, or Poch needs to fix that so then that doesn't happen. So
you better hope you don't lose the ball when you play City on Saturday, and Enzo's next to him because I'm coming for you, Ches, if he is. You know what I'm saying, bro? if Enzo's within 10 meters of him, I'm coming for you. That's what I'm
Terry, are you saying we're going to have some of the ball on Saturday?
You will. You'll have. Hang on, is it the Etihad, right?
It is.
Yeah. It's away.
Oh, come on,
it's
Chelsea.
away, man. It's away.
You know what?
Let me.
Go on, I'd love Chelsea to win that.
Let me just say something. Yeah.
Hang on,
Andrew.
Us having the ball doesn't count when we take our own kickoff. By the way, that doesn't count.
let me just say something. Because earlier I saw us linked to Bournemouth's left back. I always forget his name, but he's one guy that I like.
Nazar's a sign.
Yeah, him. If we carry on next season with Ben Chilwell and Cucurella as our main left back options, we are in trouble, right? This Ben Chilwell guy, the amount of times I'm seeing him today giving away the ball, even for that guy Franca, the guy was in for in the summer. Palace ended up getting him, yeah. When he got his shot on goal, it was from Ben Chilwell losing the ball from nothing, absolutely nothing. The amount of times he gives away the ball on that left-hand side is a joke. And the first half, the combinations between him and other players on the pitch, he had the least amount of combinations. That goes to show that no one in this team is trusting him on the ball right now, and he's meant to be the captain. Do you know what I'm saying? So Ben Chilwell's another one that we need to move on from going forward, man. Because when you look at Gusto on the other side, and you look at him, it's night and day, man. It's not good enough. It's really not good enough, man.
Totally agree. Dyke here says Caicedo and Enzo too protected by the fan base.
Are you mad? Enzo's one of the most criticised players in our
fan base. He
is.
And Enzo.
Just for full disclosure, Dyke's a long time viewer of the Terrace. He is a Chelsea fan saying that. That isn't a rival. Just the context.
Caicedo possibly. I'll give you potentially Caicedo, but Enzo's one of the most criticised players in our fan base. I'll give you Caicedo, no problem. He should get more. Enzo is covering Caicedo. Caicedo should get more criticism as well. But Enzo gets criticised. He'll probably get criticised for scoring the third goal tonight. He should have hit it in the other corner.
Yeah, he should have passed it to Nkuku or something.
Yeah, seven goals this season, isn't it? 7 goals now for Enzo.
Not good enough. Not good enough.
It's funny. Igal's not around today.
No. Are the celebration police going to call out Chelsea? I mean, they were epic celebrations, to be fair. And I also watched Jamie Carragher break down Alonso's team today by Leverkusen. They do play some beautiful football, and but he didn't mention the standing in a line, clapping and waving and bowing to the fans, which is normally what you do when you win a trophy.
He didn't mention when Jurgen Klopp went onto the pitch, the last-minute winner against Everton, either. You know what I mean? When he was in Coventry.
Blue Hope here says the man of the match is Palace's groundsman, players slipping everywhere. I didn't notice that, to be fair, but that's just me. Poch wanted a Leverkusen tactics breakdown with those side to side clown.
So
I think he means that we were passing.
Watch. Sorry, watch. I misread that. Sorry, I apologize. Thank you. Disasi header, Jackson header, Palmer 2 shots, Sterling.
I think it's about the chances.
He's referring to the end product, that we spoke about earlier.
Yeah, there was chances there.
Yeah, but the Jackson header, that was about 50, not quite 15 yards. It was about 15 yards out. That's a hard header to score from. That has got to be.
And Sassi's header looked good, but the power was lacking any type of.
No, but that's a chance to Andrew.
And there we go. Is that not poor end product there?
I said, okay, fine.
We got it.
Oh, the goalkeeper was stretching. Oh my god!
Don't worry, we agree with you, Andrew. We get where you're coming from. Don't worry.
Not sure how or why both Chelsea and Liverpool value Caicedo at 100+ million. Supporters said he's the next Kante. Slow, lethargic, poor vision is what Rego Park says.
No, he's nowhere near.
Listen, Kante wasn't a DM. That's number one. Yeah, that guy was more box to box. Caicedo's best position for me personally, I think, is going to come as an 8, further forward, right, with a Lavia behind him. Right, I know people are going to say, "Oh, you haven't even seen much of Lavia," but if you watched the guy last season, you would know that his best positions as a lone 6, which will probably mean that Enzo and Caicedo will play as 2 8s in a 4-3-3. That's what I want to see going forward. I want to see Caicedo further up.
And also, we didn't value him 100 million. That's his club value 100 million, and that's their right to do so. It's a seller's market. So we just paid it. That's what it was. And they have every right to do so. But no, this is what I don't get. If someone says one of our players is like one of our great players, that you're raising the bar too high already. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can't do that. Just leave him to be the first Caicedo. That's all.
Literally, yeah. Like Kante's a great man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. Kante's Kante. Look, Caicedo's got a lot of potential. I still think the biggest issue at Chelsea is there's not enough experience in that team overall. I did want to ask Ciaran tonight. Conor Gallagher stepped up, grabbed the brace. That's 3 goals in a week for him now. I know Chelsea are not having a good season, but he is.
Yeah, Don won't agree. I know he gives him a bit of a stick, but I always stick up for him a small bit. I know, money mess. I think, he took his goals really well. And he worked hard today again, but he always does. But yeah, he took his goals really well. And I want to see more from him because he has the ability to get box to box. He has the ability to score goals. He has the ability to get in the box and get on the end of things. And yeah, I was delighted when he scored that second goal, obviously. And I just think I still think there's just a small bit more to his game that he can improve. I know there's a lot of players you can say that about Chelsea, but there's still a small bit more in there I want from him. But the last 2 games, you can't criticise him. 3 goals in 2 games, so keep moving forward, as you say. There's no point of being negative when there's a positive to be taken out of it. So I'm happy for him.
You can still give constructive criticism, though. It's not being negative. It's just being balanced.
Stop.
It's being balanced, though, bro. Ciaran, today, when you looked at him in that hole, was he creating much?
Nobody was creating anything, so not really. No.
Yeah, he wasn't creating
much. The question, though.
But that's what I'm saying. He wasn't creating much, but what he did was
Conor Gallagher and Cole Palmer both created 3 chances each today, most on the pitch.
Cole Palmer on good today.
Listen, Cole Palmer.
I'm just saying.
The amount of times, Terry, that I was watching him. No. We can talk about the stats, but let's talk about what was watching, right? The amount of times I was seeing Gallagher where he can be in positions to pick up the ball. I'm seeing him hiding behind guys, and then it's Palmer that's coming into the hole and picking up the ball, right? These are little things that he doesn't do as well as others because he just hasn't got it in his locker. Do you know what I mean? And that's okay. That is fine because he's meant to be.
Yeah, and also, Don, yeah. Today wasn't the day to play him. For example, if you had here's what I would have done to change the game up. I wouldn't have started Silva. We can all agree on that. I would have probably played Levi. I wouldn't have played Conor. I would have played Carney. And I maybe would have kept the front 3 the same because they proved they can.
You wouldn't have played the guy that got the brace.
No, I'll tell you why, though. Because this game wasn't the game, as you saw in the first half, to be keeping on the ball, being methodical, pressing. Crystal Palace aren't there to press you. They're just there to sit back on a low block. You need someone in that midfield, like a Palmer in his position, like Nkuku or Carney, who can unlock the defence. Quick passes, a tempo. Conor Gallagher's a great player at what he does, but he's not that kind of player. So that's why when he changed the setup in the second half, he had more width, there was more space. That's why Cole Palmer was able to get in the pockets and create chances. And even Cole Palmer didn't play that well. Because when he had the ball, like me and Dom was saying to Andrew earlier, he didn't make the right decisions. But luckily for us, because he's a great player, he took his chances and was clinical, like a Man United
Found
type
the
win.
way.
Like someone said earlier. Look at Dalot yesterday. Man United didn't play great. One chance, one goal, and you score. Similar to us today. So it's similar performances. It's not like we're doing that well. And Gallagher played brilliant, and the other players around him played poor. He's just not a 10 who can unlock defenses.
Basically, he's our Scott McTominay. That's what he is.
That's
You know what?
100%.
I do get where you're coming from, but
Do you know
it's
what I'm
just the first time I've ever heard anybody turn around when they've won a game and the man that got the brace. I've ever heard people turn around and go, "We shouldn't have played it."
Yeah. Such backwards logic.
Yeah. Staffy's here. Hello, Staffy.
I heard someone say Scott McTominay, so I came in to
Hey,
challenge
man
you.
even came with a fresh trim, yeah. He came with a fresh trim.
While Staffy's here, by the way, just for you for yesterday.
But I'm still on my feet. Loneliness can follow me around. It will not give up until it's on. God knows things could be better, but I'm trying to keep it together. I'm still waiting on a miracle to come.
Oh, thank you, Don Hassan, for sending that to me.
First of all, people already snitched on you, and they came to my chat yesterday, and they were like, "Oh, by the way, Terry played the clip again." But I was in the middle of a rant, so I didn't really care.
In fairness, I wasn't even playing the clip yesterday for you. I played it because I was happy you scored. If that made sense, I need to get one without your face on. To be fair,
We can definitely do that. There's a lot more without my face on it, but you have the one that has my face on it. But anyways, no, listen, I was listening to you guys, and honestly, I want to have a debate about this Chelsea team and this Chelsea midfield. And honestly, everyone made great points. And I feel like every week I change my mind on Chelsea. I've never looked at a team more confusing than Chelsea. I honestly do mean it. Every week I feel like I figured it out, and then I'm like, bro, I was wrong last week. And then I would say something else. I'm like, bro, I was wrong again. Every week is different to me. And I agree with the Chelsea. I think you just said, before I hopped on, you just said Gallagher shouldn't have started this game. And I think Terry looked confused. And I absolutely agree with you. Because I feel like, okay, Gallagher thrived in the second half. The second half was more transitional. The minute the football became faster, the minute Gallagher looked the best. But every time you slow down the football, he looks bad. I mean, honestly, everyone looks bad, but he doesn't look good at all. So it's like you're caught in this dilemma where all three of your midfielders don't match each other. And you try to play possession-based football, but you're not good at it. The minute you take out Thiago Silva, you maintain a little bit more width, you play quicker, Gallagher crashes the box, and you said it perfectly done. I think it was you or Surfer. Someone said he's our Scott McTominay. He does exactly the same thing. He crashes the box and he gets his goals.
The biggest skill, bro.
And here's the thing. How do you move on with this, though? Like, how do you move forward? Because I'll tell you something, and I think
Bring him on against tied legs, bro. Bring him on against tied legs.
Okay, that's one thing.
We know
that's technically what we do with McTominay. We actually bring him on late. But next week you're going to Chelsea, and I actually think you're going to play better against Chelsea.
City.
You're going against City. Sorry, you're going away against City. Are you a home or away? I think you're away.
Away.
Yeah, away. I actually think you're going to
that game. He'll definitely start that.
He'll definitely start because of all the running around that you need.
Yeah.
And I actually think you guys are going to look better because you're not going to have a low block against you. Obviously, now it's different when you're actually having to defend against a quality team. You're going to have to defend like very well. But here's the thing. Where do you guys move from here? Like, I really don't know. Most of these players are so young and you're still trying to figure it out. It's not like if Gallagher was the missing piece in and out of the team, I'd understand. But like, you know what? You're one or two players away from having a good team with a good style, with a definite style. And you know, every team now knows how to approach you or how you approach them, and they can play against you accordingly. You guys are trying to play a certain way, but you're getting your wins playing a different way. And the Aston Villa game, you guys had the same team as today, but you approached the start of the game different than today. It's like, I don't understand where did Chelsea go from here. I'm literally just trying to sit here and understand it, and I can't find a solution for it, especially because of how young this team is.
It's
I think as well. Sorry for interrupting you. I think as well. I think Gallagher is one of those players that you have to have in your team, in your squad. Sorry. I think Don hit on the head. I think going forward, I think it will be Lavia, Caicedo and Enzo. I don't think Gallagher will be a starter, mainly if we have all our floor players back. But he's one of those players that if he's a squad player and he comes on for the last 20 minutes, half an hour, or when he does start the odd game, he's a great player to have in the squad, no doubt. Going forward, I think what Don said, them 3 midfielders, 1,000,000%, I think should start. And I think our best 3, I love Nkunku, Palmer, and Jackson maybe on the left, are a bit closer together the way they played in the second half. But you're right, you hit the nail on the head. Every single week it's different. It's different constantly every single week. Against Aston Villa, there was no complaints whatsoever. But this week, Caicedo and Enzo were miles apart from each other, and I just want to see a bit of consistency from Poch, a tiny, small bit of consistency. The same team, if we have all our players back, which is really hard because players are just injured constantly, when we have our full starting 11 and our full squad, I do think you'll start seeing a small bit of changes. But it's hard, man. It's hard to get a full squad every week. The starting 11 changes every.
It's from
I want to answer this. I want to answer this.
I want to answer it as well.
Yeah, this is a Nini from Blue Lion TV. Hope you're well, bro. Long time no see.
Christ almighty, Jesus.
He says, "Why does Gallagher always get scapegoated for this? What player does well? They are not even seeing Palmer do anything. I'm sorry, this Gallagher analysis has to stop."
Let me just start here. I respect your comment. Obviously, you're Terry's boy, our boy. I watch you all the time, bro. I hope you're listening. My name's Chez, innit? Come back to me, message me.
Shut up, you kiss off.
Let me just say this shit. Let me just say this.
Get that man off the stage. Get that man off the stage.
You've got my chat there. It's there, innit? What I'm saying is this. What a really lazy take this is. What a lazy take. Let me break it down for you. Gallagher is not a 10. Better still, he's not an attacking midfielder. If you want to be specific.
He is.
No. Let me tell you what he is. He is a centre mid who can crash in the box and get goals. He's not a creative outlet. A creative outlet, I'll call him Cuckoo, a Bruno, a Palmer, who can lock defenses with quick passes, or if they have pace like Carney, and strength and decisive and make better decision making. Conor Gallagher is a utility player who's great at robustness. He can close people down. He's good at press. He's got a decent footballing IQ when it comes to the tackling and defensive aspects of the game. That is it. So if we're using him as an attacking 10, it's never going to work because he's not that kind of player. So no one's saying he's a bad player. Like my guy said before, he's a good squad player to have. He's not an attacking midfielder. Like Staffy's saying, if you have possession-based football, you need someone who could turn on the ball, make a quick pass, switch play, nice early shot. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like a Palmer does, to say when Palmer gets in the pocket, gets 2 assists for Gallagher.
Let me I'll simplify this to what I said about 5 minutes ago. He's our McTominay. When McTominay doesn't score a goal,
and that's fine, bro. And that's fine.
But when McTominay, Staffy knows this and Terry knows this. When McTominay doesn't score a goal, there's nothing else to the game, right? There's nothing positive he really brings to the game. And this is the same with Gallagher. I'm glad he got the 2 goals tonight because it helps my team. I'm not a hypocrite if a player I don't like scores, I'm not going to celebrate. I'm always going to celebrate. You know, I was jumping around. We scored fantastic, but overall, he's just he's a great squad player. I think Ciaran put it right. A great squad player, and Don said it. Bring him on. Last 15 minutes. Suffocate the opposition. Let him be the defensive 10, which is a new position created this season for him. No one else plays a defensive 10 like we do, and let him do that job. But other than that, he is a basic player, and that's every team has every squad is a basic player. We just have to accept it.
You'd think that the way he's describing him here, you'd think that we're asking for Palmer to get dropped. Like Gallagher doesn't play as a 10 just because he presses with the forward doesn't make him a 10. He's been box to box all season, has influenced all parts of our game. He's been played as a 10 in a 4-2-3-1. I don't know what you've been watching, and him and Enzo take up 8 positions, right? But on the ball, there's better players in the squad. And like I said, that is fine, bro. No one's scapegoating Gallagher. All it is that there's certain games where he's not needed. And if we don't play him, we should play better because there's other players that can play that position better than him. That's all it is, bro. That's all it is.
But regardless of how, of all them points, we have to give him credit. We have to give him credit of how he's played for us, how he was done okay. So when credit's due, just give the man credit. As I know what Nini's trying to say. I understand. But all the boys hit the nail on the head there. But just give him credit of what he has done and what he has done tonight. Just take the positive out rather than the negative.
Today there could be no criticism because he got the goals.
So you're not saying? Hold on a second. I'm just very confused right now. Are people really trying to say that Gallagher's an 8? Because Gallagher's not an 8. I wouldn't say Gallagher's as a centre mid. I wouldn't really describe him as a
His
centre
heat map is very interesting.
He's
We'll see
more
where
of an
he-
8 than anything else.
I'll say it's 8 than a 10, Don, I'll be
I'll
honest.
tell you why, though, Don.
I'd say he's a bit of. I'd say he's a mishmash of both. Like, he's an attacking midfielder. I'd say that's what I'd call him. I wouldn't say he's a centre midfielder.
No.
He's a
Centre mid can attack doesn't mean
He
they're
does-
attacking midfielders.
He's attacking midfielder because even though he's creating, the creating part of his game isn't all that. When it comes to finishing, bro, like I said, go back to Charlton, right? Charlton again, Palace. This guy's a box crusher, right? He's an advanced midfielder. He's not a centre.
No, but that's an attribute.
Gallagher's not a centre mid.
That's an attribute of the box to box, though. When you crash the box, it means you have to come from somewhere to crash the box, and that's
Yeah,
more
but
of
he
a
normally
box-to-box attribute.
takes up the highest positions in our team, bro.
No. That's what I'm saying. He shouldn't be, but that actually proves our point. But because you just said he takes up the highest positions, but he's not playing good there, so he shouldn't be there. His best attributes are what he has a mix of both, where he's a good destroyer, he runs a lot, so people rate him for his legs, and you just called him he's a box crasher. These are his best 3 attributes. That doesn't make you an attacking midfielder, and it doesn't make you a 6 for sure, because he's definitely not good enough on the ball to pick up the ball from deep positions and spread it to his teammates. I think that's his best position, but that takes me back to my initial question: How do you keep playing this football that you're trying to play with him in the midfield? Because he doesn't match what Enzo and Caicedo are. We have seen Enzo be good in a position-based team as Argentina. We have seen Caicedo be good in a position-based team as Brighton. We haven't seen Conor Gallagher ever be good in a position-based team, and he's thriving off the ball. Look at this heat map.
This here, by the way, guys, this is his heat map in the Premier League this season, which you can see it's slightly heavier weighted on the right-hand side of the attack. So attack is on the right-hand side of this pitch, but it does for me that looks very much box to box.
That's legitimately box to box. Yeah.
I think
he's a box to box.
I think he's actually given. I think he's given I think he's the only player in this team that's given a free role.
So we say that he's more of an 8 than. Okay, look. To be fair, I hear what you guys are saying, because I don't look at him and say this guy's a 10. So I do get what you guys are saying. I don't think he's a centre mid. I would say he's more of an 8 than he is a 10, right? But he does take up the most advanced positions in our midfield.
Given license.
I'll be real. He's not when you put him deeper in the pivot, for example, Staffy. Yeah, nah, not for me. He needs to be further up, right? So I would say he's more of an 8 than a 10, in my opinion. I'd say he's probably more.
He
of an
is
eight.
an 8.
He's given a license to roam for me, because he appears everywhere. He goes, whether it's good or bad. He's like, when I see him in one game he's in the 10 position, and the next 5 minutes he's at the left back position. I think Poch gives him a license to roam and do what he wants, essentially. And you see that. I think he says to him, help up here, help back there, because he knows, like you said, one of his attributes off the ball is running, right? And he never stops.
He's got 4 lungs, bro.
But sometimes you don't need to run a lot, Surfer, when you're keeping the ball. And this is why I'm saying I think you guys are struggling. Right away, I think you play 3 8s in this midfield. Like, I think maybe now I figured it out. I keep saying every week I think I figured it out, but I'm sure you guys are going to suffer.
You think Caicedo's an 8?
I think Caicedo's an 8.
You
said it, and I agree with you, and I'll tell you why. I don't think also his best attribute is picking up the ball off his back line and making those passes. There's a few times, and I paid close attention on purpose to him every time he has the ball to Enzo. Him and Enzo don't link up that well. Enzo's used to having a 6 that's going to find him in these little pockets. Caicedo wasn't doing that. Caicedo a few times would pick up the ball and he would try to go wide, and I don't think his main instinct is to go to his 8 or make these passes like a proper 6 would, like a Rodri would, like a Partey used to do, these type of players. I think you're struggling with the balance of these 3, because I said obviously I said Gallagher's not really position-based anyways, but they're 3 8s. Here's the issue I still have with this team. You need a DM, but if you get a DM, I don't think you have creative midfielders that get GA. As an example, that first half, you had all of the ball with 0 shots on target. If you had midfielders that actually, when they've reached the final third, they can pick out a pass to get an assist, or they can actually shoot on all that, that would be less of a concern. I'm looking at this midfield, and I think you still need 2 fixes, which is a 6 and a 10. And you don't have a 10 in the squad. You can argue that Lavia comes back and he starts as a 6 because he's a very good 6. But now, does that mean that you have to sell someone and go get a 10?
No, go.
Or do you play Caicedo? Or do you play
yeah.
Caicedo and Enzo?
Okay,
I get. You
said
4-3-3, but that's what I'm saying. If you have 2 8s, they have to provide a little bit of GA. or they have to be a little bit more creative.
Come on, Steffi. Yeah, but Enzo's creative. Enzo's creative. That's one thing that I've seen during his time at Chelsea. He can definitely create chances, right? And Caicedo, obviously, we haven't seen it in the league. But if you see that some of the positions that he was taking up for Brighton, even that goal he scored against Spurs, that's a position that an 8 takes up, yeah. And he scored a similar sort of goal against Brighton. And if you even go back to his time at Ecuador, when he was playing in Ecuador, he was playing as an 8. He was literally playing as an 8, and his manager spoke about it. There's a whole segment on the Athletic if you guys want to read up on it. He spoke about it. Said I think his best position is as an 8. So going forward, I do think that he will advance to become an 8. Whether he gets the goals and he gets the GA is yet to see. But I have seen Caicedo create some good chances this season. And I think you have a lot more shots on goal as well.
That's why we want Kante to get more minutes, right? We want to see Kante because at the start of the season he was playing that Gallagher position.
And balance is key. Like Gallagher's heating up again. I just want to look at a few 10s. Like this is Odegaard's, and Odegaard gets called an 8. That's far more 10 based. And if you look at KDB's, it's very, very similar. Bruno's is very, 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 very. It's heat maps are my favorite thing to look at. It's where you pick up the ball. And also, by the way, Nini, who says hopefully I can come on the next show if possible. Of course, it's possible, mate. Just drop me. I know I got your number. You probably still got mine. Drop me a message and we'll get that sorted for the next. Come on after the City game. That'll be a good party, I think, to come on and chat on. So, yeah, of course, bro. Always welcome on my channel, my friend. Comparing McTominay to Gallagher sums up the panel's IQ, to be honest. It's a little harsh.
I think it's better than Scott. I think it's better than Scott.
I think he provides more in
Spider-Man.
Look at the brilliant all-round performance he put in versus the best teams in the league. With no injuries, what's Chelsea's best 11? No one knows the answer to that question.
I know.
Not even Poch. Not even Poch. Listen, I want to thank everyone that's tuned. A lot of people asking if I send the link to Nini. Show's coming to an end. Man needs his bed. I bought a bike today and went for a cycle, and I can't feel my legs, bruv. Like I can't run anymore.
Nini, shout Terry, bro. Thursday, top 6, we'll be there. Yeah,
we can do top 6 show, Nini. Just drop me a message, bro.
By the way, what you guys did on the top 6 today to eliminate Palmer first round, that's criminal.
Not me, the panel.
No, it wasn't you. It's criminal.
For Udogie, I know Udogie's been doing well, but come on.
I couldn't believe it. I was exempt. I was just hosting. And
that's because Palmer's scary to them.
I couldn't
believe it.
Bro, the minute I saw 2 Spurs fans, I knew it was over. I was like,
hey, Terry, you should have gone rebellious right, fam. How are they not leaving in Palmer? Going on?
I can do it.
Listen, the Thursday one, I'm already calling dibs on that one because I'm not allowing Minu to get eliminated in the first round. So KJ, if you're listening, put my name down.
I knew people would like it. We're not doing the tiering anymore. We're doing the brackets. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, thank you. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. Cheers to all my panel. Everyone who super chatted. Everyone who smashed the like button. Big up, and we'll see you all again. What's this comment I see? Caicedo's slander is stupid. Terry is a loser who thinks Shite Mainu is good when he does nothing. Listen, I think Caicedo is excellent. I'm just criticizing an element of his game that's hurting Chelsea. But as everyone said, he ain't that sick. So it sounds like I'm right, my friend. It's not slander either. Slander's a lie.
Swear at Terry, at least
slander is basically lying about someone. Saying that he gives up possession in dangerous areas can't be slander if it indeed be the truth. My friend. Take care, everyone. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon. Peace.